Bolivar may have left the family business for poker, but over here at the feature table sits Alex Brenes, whose family business is poker. He's got pocket tens, and he's short-stacked.
And under the gun.
All in.
And he is all in, once again putting his tournament life on the line.
Well, I think this is probably the correct play. I mean, he's got a little more than 10 big blinds here, but not much more than that. And 10 big blinds is kind of my relative cutoff as to when I will shove the hand or whether I'll play it straightforwardly.
Well, Leonardo Emperador not going to play the Jack-9 offsuit.
As he shouldn't.
And it folds around to Aragao. Ace-Jack suited, is that enough to call?
Not for me, it isn't. Not with him shoving under the gun. And he's not so short-stacked that he would shove a bad hand.
I call.
Well, Aragao is going to call. And this is virtually a coin flip. You can see the percentages. Brenes, 57% chance of surviving. Aragao, a 43% chance of winning this pot and knocking out one of the most dangerous players left in this tournament.
No? Cool.
And the only bad news here, of course, is that as soon as he gets called, Alex knows that he's either like this, he's a small favorite in a coin flip, or he's way behind.
Well, indeed, he is a small favorite. Pot is 50,000. And can Alex Brenes, the reigning LAPT Player of the Year, stay alive?
I love how everyone always stands up to see the flop.
Well, here is the flop. King, Queen, 7, 1 diamond. Brenes safe so far.
Well, safe, but more outs. Not just an ace or a jack, but a 10 will give Aragao a straight as well.
And there is the 10. It's a 10 of diamonds. Brenes hits his set, but he doesn't want to hit a set there because Aragao has made Broadway. 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace. He's got the straight.
Well, pair the board, and Alex will still win this pot. King, Queen, 7, or another 10 for quads.
Deuce of hearts, not going to do it. And one of the most feared poker players left in the room is leaving the room. Mr. LAPT, Alex Brenes, has been eliminated.
Well, an iffy call by our winner there, Magno Aragao. But if you're not, it won him the chips in the end. He takes out Alex Brenes and stacks it up.
What a hand for Magno Aragao. Alex Brenes reports to the rail. The remaining players can breathe a sigh of relief.
Uruguay is just one of the many exciting destinations on the LAPT. So if you want to play poker in paradise, log on to PokerStars.net and learn how to qualify for the next LAPT event.
Welcome back to Uruguay, where the recently eliminated Alex Brenes has joined Marianela Pereira.
Mr. LAPT Alex Brenes, incredible. You made it to 3 final tables on this tour, and I know you wanted to make it to the final table here in Uruguay, but unfortunately you just could not close the deal. How do you feel, Alex?
Well, I tried my best. I came short stack today. I make my move with a real hand, 2 tens. A guy called me with his jack. Unfortunately, he made it straight, and I'm out. But next time,
can we expect to see you in Argentina?
For sure.
I hope that my country can bring you a little luck.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Alex.
Okay.
Thank you, Marianela. Well, now that Alex Brenes has hit the rail, 2 players from the Mexico final table remain. Bolivar Palacios, who is second in chips, and Leonardo Emperador, who is one of the short stacks. The chip leader is Mario Salvano of Uruguay. The Uruguayans seem to be doing well. One of them, Romel Prado, is all in pre-flop, waiting on the rest of his table to act.
Oh my God.
And he's raised it up to 14.2 thousand.
I have aces.
Well, Alberto Araujo says he has aces. Well, apparently 2 aces.
Not sure why he's telling the table. He's not the only one left to act. If he was, he would just call with 2 aces.
Well, he folded the 2 aces.
Okay, well then obviously he's just having a joke with everyone.
Oliver Rowe on the button. Gonna fold. Small blind gets out of the way. Big blind gets out of the way. And Prado survives. The Uruguayan pumped up.
I guess I would be too if I got someone to fold 2 aces pre-flop.
Well, Romel is going to rake in the chips and keep hanging on in the hopes of making the money here today. Live to fight another day. Well, across the room, chip leader Mario Salvano has just put out a large bet on the river. Action is to Bjorn Johansson.
Threatening board there. 3 hearts. Several straight possibilities.
Well, Johansson is going to make the call. And Mario Salvano turns over 2 jacks for a set of jacks. And as the chip leader gets a little richer, Bjorn can only smile sheepishly.
That look makes me think that he called with next to nothing because he thought Mario was bluffing him.
Well, obviously he was wrong. Mario Salvano is a businessman from nearby Carmelo, Uruguay, who loves playing poker, but strictly as a hobby. In his home game, Mario considers himself an amateur among amateurs.
El mejor jugador de mi ciudad. Me llamo Mario Salvano, soy de Carmelo, Uruguay. En Carmelo no hay ninguna botija. Nuestra ciudad está de Punta del Este a 380 kilómetros. Es una ciudad muy chica y no jugamos póker. Yo soy muy amateur, no soy profesional ni nada que se le parezca. A mí me encanta el póker, es una pasión, es muy lindo. ¡Vamos arriba, no va! Bienvenido sea que traigan un evento como este tan importante a un país tan chico como somos Uruguay. Han traído muy buena gente, han venido gente canadiense, ha venido gente europea, ha venido gente argentina, brasilera. Me gustaría que si lo pudiera ganar un uruguayo sería importante. Yo vine porque me tengo fe, si no, no vendría. Quisiera llevarme el primer puesto, lo que sé que es muy difícil. Alguno lo tiene que ganar, pero bueno, tengamos fe de que pueda quedar en Uruguay.
Well, best wishes to a Uruguayan finishing high in this tournament since I'm not in it anymore.
Well, just 50 players do remain in this LAPT Uruguay field, and only 36 will make the money. Blind still at 1,000, 2,000, and back at the featured table. Action is on Hernan Reyes.
Well, that's always a nice hand to look down and see.
Well, a couple of red aces, and he's raised it up to 5,000.
2.5 times the big blind. I like it.
Action over to the German, Max Heinzelmann. Ace-Jack of clubs. He's going to smooth call this.
Yeah, that's fine. He's on the button. You know, it's only 5,000. He can afford to see a flop in position.
And over to Leonardo Imperador. He's got the suited connector in the small blind. And he's going to call this. And it's 3 players to the flop.
Well, the ace is the big favorite, of course, but everyone has their opportunities.
Well, 8, 7, 4. It's a really interesting flop. Reyes still in the lead with the 2 red aces. You can see the percentages, but Heinzelmann with the flush draw and Imperador with a straight draw.
Something for everybody here. This one's almost guaranteed to be all in. Question is, which 2 of these 3 players will be all in, or maybe all 3 of them?
Well, Imperador checks. Reyes bets 13,000.
How much do you have left?
Heinzelmann asking how many chips behind.
All right, I'm all in.
And Heinzelmann's all in. Well, he's got the overcards and the clubs.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good aggressive play. It's not at all a mistake, even though we know he's way behind, for him to shove. But what's going to happen now is he's going to have to hit a miracle or a flush to win this pot, because I don't see how Reyes is going to fold 2 aces.
Well, Imperador does fold the straight draw. And it's back to Reyes.
I mean, there's a lot to be concerned about here of your Reyes, but the money just isn't deep enough to throw away 2 aces just because the flop might have beaten you. I need to be more convinced than one raise can possibly accomplish before I'm going to throw away 2 aces in a spot like this.
Well, Reyes is a 61% favorite if he calls, and it would be an all-in if he calls. He doesn't call. He throws away the 2 red aces.
That's overly tight. I mean, yes, you could be beat here. You could be against 5, 6, 3 of a kind. That's still too tight of a fold, though.
And he shows the 2 red aces to the table.
Yeah, that's even worse than the fold. I mean, now you've told everyone that unless you have the nuts, they can push you off any hand. And you get that at this stage of the tournament. Some people playing too tight, trying to make it past the bubble into the money. Other players taking advantage of it and building a stack.
Well, meanwhile, the field is just 13 players away from making the money here at the Latin American Poker Tour in Uruguay. This close to the bubble, every hand counts. Soon the players of the LAPT Uruguay will either be in or out of the money. We are now just 10 players away from making the money. The chip leader continues to be Mario Salvano of Uruguay, who now has almost 200,000 in chips. Tension is high in the room. Right now, the start of the day short stack, Ricardo Neto of Brazil, is all in and called by fellow Brazilian Marcelo Costa.
Well, that's a great spot, though. 2 kings all in. You're not against 2 aces. You're a substantial favorite, but 29% chance he's going to get unlucky and go home with no money.
Well, flop is good so far. 9-9 deuce rainbow. Turn is another 9, and Costa's picked up more outs. He can catch an ace or a 9 on the river.
Ricardo Neto a little nervous.
7 of spades, and Neto is going to survive. Wins that pot. You can see the check mark next to his name. Ricardo Neto continues to hang in there and doubles up. Such is the nature of no limit hold'em. You can really change your fortune just a couple of hands. Well, across the room, another player is facing an all-in. Bjorn Johansen of Norway has moved all-in pre-flop for 7,900 chips. Action is over to Bolivar Palacios.
Well, it's not much of a raise. He's getting 3-1 on the call, so this must be a pretty bad hand for him to even think about it.
Well, he kisses his chips goodbye, so to speak.
Well, he put him in the pot, though, so he's got a chance of winning. Not much of a chance against 2 aces, though.
Yeah, Johansen with the aces. Palacios with 10-4, over and out, maybe.
Yeah, and if you're Johansen, this is about as good a spot as you can be in. Pre-flop, all in with 2 aces against total junk.
Jack, Jack 8, rainbow board.
That almost seals the deal. Only runner outs for Palacios now.
Turns a 2 of hearts, and that's going to do it. You see the check mark next to Johansen's name. An irrelevant 8 of diamonds falls on the river. But for Johansen, 2 red aces comes just in the nick of time.
Not that there's ever a bad time to be dealt 2 aces.
Well, for Palacios, it's a small hit to his stack, but he still has plenty of chips to play with. Did he do anything wrong by calling with 10-4?
No, the price was so good. Getting 3-1. I don't even look at my cards. I just call because I don't want to suffer the agony of seeing junk and still having to call with it.
Well, back at the feature table, Leonardo Emperador, the only other Mexico final table player, is still struggling as the blinds are now up to 1,200, 2,400, and action is on Alex de Arruabarrena of Uruguay. I think we should just call him Alex from now on.
Alex it is.
Well, Alex has a lot of chips, and he's got a king-jack offsuit. And it looks like he might raise this one.
Yeah, I'm usually not a big fan of playing this hand under the gun like this, in such early position. But, he's got a lot of chips, and so he's going to play the bully, especially here on the bubble. And that's the time I would play this hand, and almost any playable hand, really.
Well, Alex raises it up to 6,600. It folds around to Aragao. Aragao not going to play. Heinzelman, 5-4 of hearts.
In the big blind, getting a discounted price on the call, and that's the kind of hand I like to see a flop with. I'm not sure if I want to do it at this stage of the tournament, though, especially if someone has me covered. But still, frequently this is a hand where I am going to call and see a flop.
Well, here is the flop. Jack, 9, deuce, couple of hearts. A little bit of something for everybody. Heinzelman with the heart draw. Alex with top pair.
Well, we've seen how Max has done this before. When he had the nut flush draw, at least, he shoved all in. Let's see how he plays it when it's not the nut flush draw and it's not over cards of the board either.
Well, Heinzelman checks. Alex bets 10,400. And Heinzelman calls.
Quickly. That was a very fast call. I mean, obviously we know what he's thinking.
Well, 7 of spades. No help to Heinzelman. And he only has a 19% chance of winning this pot. He checks again. And Alex bets 26,000. Now, how do you play this if you're Heinzelman?
Well, if I'm Heinzelman at this point, I probably just fold my hand.
I'm all in.
But you're not Heinzelman because he's all in.
Obviously not.
Call.
And Alex quickly calls. And Heinzelman's going to have to get lucky or he's going to be eliminated.
Yeah, he's just run into a brick wall here, so he's going to just have to catch a card or it's going to be a long, cold flight home to Germany.
The pot is nearly 200,000 chips. Heinzelman needs a heart and only a heart on the river.
Safe.
The river's a 5 of clubs. Heinzelman pairs up, but it's no heart. And Heinzelman is out, just short of making the money. And Alex, the local Uruguayan, is our new chip leader.
And as Max shows us, when you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He played both of his flush draws hyper-aggressively. This one got him, though.
Well, as Max hits the rail, everyone in the room takes another step towards making the money, while Alex de Arruabarrena from Uruguay takes the chip lead.